there a limit to the number of devices they can bring?
Oh my. I don't think so, but
Well, for
is there a
example,
number
an
of,
iPad and a Kindle and a cell phone.
Right.
They're three completely different things.
That's right. The question was, is there a limit to the number of devices that a person could bring?
Currently, your form just has room for one serial number.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I didn't think about, you know, a student that might be bringing multiple devices. I think we would need an agreement for each, you know, because we have some information about the device serial number.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is there
good
any,
question though.
She's bringing in multiple devices. What about for the kids who may not be as fortunate that they can't bring a device?
Yeah.
Or whose parents fear the Poe.
Sure.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, is there a, you know, speaking, you know, in a sense of, is there an avenue where financial aid is available? So if this is a learning experience and we're looking at our children learning more, if somebody's unfortunately is less fortunate, they might not be able to afford a device, is there something within the budget that we can assist and help to, that way, if my child can learn more because we're using these devices in the classroom, does that mean somebody who can't have that same benefit, are they not going to learn as much?
Right.
So, I mean, that's something we going to look at because there's peer pressure associated with that as well. So, will somebody have a lower self-esteem in the classroom and be a negative on that person who doesn't have a device or can't necessarily afford that device? So, it just kind of.
I guess the answer that I do have is when there's an activity in the classroom and if the teacher needs students to have devices, we'll have tools available for them to use. You know, we're not going to let them go without having one. However, I hadn't thought of the idea of a program that provided financial assistance, things like that. The district that I was in when we did the laptop program, you know, at the end of the program they sold these devices, but those were district owned. And this is very different, so I'm not really sure I have an answer to that.
There might be a possibility for the PTA. I'm not. Sorry, Jim.
No, but I mean that's something we hadn't thought of.
No, what I was thinking was that like Lenovo has a program which is a 3-year thing, $7 a month, which is a small amount of money over a 3-year period for like a netbook,
Right.
something of that nature.
Yeah, yeah, and that might be something that, you know, parents can kind of come together as this pilot program is going. There are several businesses that would probably, you know, want to be involved in something like this. And so I think it's a really good idea. And I think there's a lot of businesses that are looking to partner with schools on different things, so it might be something to, you know, consider.
Have you already done that or not yet?
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry. I just asked if you've already asked businesses in the area if they
No.
would donate something like this
No,
instead
because
of.
I mean, with it being personally owned, that sort of would be, I think, as parents, you would need to come together to do something like that. So,
It'd be nice if the school could actually partner and say, come up with, you know, a company though, not a company necessarily, or even, you know, other organizations, whether it's Apple or Dell or Samsung, whoever has a tablet, netbooks, that maybe they say, hey, right now we're putting something together. We're gonna have a sign-up period. If, you know, for every, you know, parent who wants to do it, they give a discount to that person or a longer finance period to assist them with that. I mean, that, to me, even though it's personally owned, coming from the school district, it certainly would probably be more received and get a lot bigger response rate of them wanting to jump on board, as opposed to, you know, myself calling and saying, hey, yeah, in school they're doing this program, and I'd like to do yours. Will you do it for this? But if it was something that it's not going through the school just kind of does it. They give the paperwork. It's kind of like you go to certain places, or even in lunchrooms, people leave things on the counter and says, hey, come get a pizza at Papa Gino's and you get 20% off because they leave their coupons around. But maybe if they had a person that would set it up, that they could come in, and then it would give that opportunity or avenue for other people to
that might be something that comes out of the pilot that we explore.
There is a federal aid program through the Department of Education. Underprivileged children to get devices. Programs similar to this.
He was saying there is a program program that is available through the Department of Ed or the state of New Hampshire?
No, it's a federal program through the Department of Education. There are funds available for financially challenged families to provide these devices for their children for their educational. There's assistance available through the federal Department of Education. That was part of the billions that they dumped into the recovery program. That was part of that reallocation of cash, and that money is available.
Okay.
If you qualify for the, their level of underprivilege, and they have a sliding scale.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Dr. Rufield, did you have something?
If we have some specifics on that,
Yeah.
I'll have to give us the.
Send you.
Yeah.
I'll give you a-
Right, and that's something I think that would be important for us to communicate out. People are interested. We had,
Since this is a pilot program, and I can presume it's going to be evolving throughout the pilot period, maybe rules will be changed and guidelines will be changed. And, devices that are allowed might change. Have you given any thought to maybe having some sort of public forum, like a Facebook page for this initiative, and we could maybe have discussion forums so we could share as parents with one another, say my child's using this device and it's working out, or my child's using this device and it isn't, or how the child's subject matter.
is that something you guys might be interested in thinking? Okay. Is there anyone that would like to start that up? I'm very good at delegating, by the way. If I think, having like a wiki or something like that where people, I think that's a great idea. I think this is about having conversations as this is evolving. I think those are important ones, so I would be glad to help start that up. I can't
Could
commit
they
to
do some
leaving.
like real-time response that's sort
It's a
of
great
separate
idea.
from the whole system of surveys that
Right.
come back, just as we have thoughts on a day-to-day basis?
Absolutely, yeah. What I had thought of was something, like a wiki and place for ideas. However, if we wanted to be sort of more of a real time and have that component to it, I would be glad to talk with a few of you about that.
Could you share those with parents who maybe were interested in doing that, be willing to let you know that they're willing to give you their emails, so that, say, the person who's starting up could then send it out to those who are interested?
Yeah, what I'll do is I will put my email address up on here, and for those of you, or you can find it on the school district website as well, and you can email me so that we can start that conversation. I think we would probably want to start that up like right when the pilot begins.
We could open a Facebook page and just use it as a forum. And have it, and that way you don't have the email out to everybody. It's a central place
Right.
everybody can just log into, and everybody can post on the page.
And
Right.
we'll see any changes.
Yeah, we might have to do
Blog.
something like a blog, just because Facebook, we're trying to just be careful with
there you
Facebook, and
I don't think we can access it.
I just had
and we
some-
can't at school. It is blocked on our filter, so
Oh, okay.
it would be.
There you go.
I just had a quick question for Mr. Beers. It says somewhere in here that the students are expected to keep their device on themselves throughout the day and that they're responsible for it. I just know when my 7-year-old comes home and he's got 25 minutes of recess, I don't want to say, what'd you do at recess? And have him say, oh, I played Angry Birds with Johnny. I want to know that. So are they allowed to have them on the playground? Because even though my child doesn't have it, his friend might. And I don't want them, I want them to not connect socially, virtually on the playground. I want them to really.
I think that's definitely a reasonable concern. At the second grade level, I mean, I'm sure you can imagine a million different things that could either happen to a device or have them, limit the social interaction. So that's one of those things that it's kind of like a wait and see, I think. My initial reaction, honestly, as a dad, would say, leave them inside, go outside and play and run around. To say one way or the other definitively right now, I don't know if I can say that, but that's my initial feeling on the topic.
And if I could piggyback with you, Drew, one of the things, being principal of Memorial, I could see the same types of issues where, as a kid coming out with their device, if they're running out with their iPad, I thought you were going to go on the avenue that, your child was going to wipe out and the iPad was going to get cracked or what have you, because I've been there before with my own children.
I think they still need to play.
They do, and I see it as being, and I come back to the idea that this is a pilot program. So there are some things that we're not necessarily gonna know, but I'm right there with you. I want those kids putting the devices down and running and doing those things, because we know that, it always helps for our kids to get their energy out.
So could
and
we
that's
have a rule
so
that they
important.
can bring them out to recess?
We could have that rule, absolutely. We
And it may naturally show that way. It may naturally present that way, that the students leave them, and we'll have to watch and see. I'm hesitant right now to start a rule about it until we see what we get, because we haven't been here before. And this is new ground. I'm sorry?
I was just